If I unmute properly, I'm happy to do so. Chief Madden has been with the Chico Police Department for 23 years. Upon Mike O'Brien's retirement, Matt took over as interim chief in early June, and in August, he was hired as permanent police chief. He is a Paradise native and has served in almost every sworn position in the department, from police officer right up to chief. He's made a priority to build a strong relationship between the community and the department. When he was in Paradise, he coached football at Paradise High and was lucky to be able to coach Jeff Mail, a wide receiver who played for the University of Oregon in the 2011 BCS National Championship game and later played for 2 NFL teams. So he's a great coach. If you get to see his office, you'll see a variety of duck paraphernalia behind him, and that's why that's there. He's also an avid fisherman and owns a design boat made right here in Chico so that he can fish rivers and fish Lake Almanor. So if you see him up there, wave and say hi. Chief Madden, we'd be happy to hear from you at this time.
Yeah, good afternoon, Rotary. Thank you for the invitation. And really, thank you, everybody, for all the things that you do in our community. In 23 years of being in law enforcement, I've seen firsthand just how much you all do. So I want to thank you and your support of law enforcement as well. Rotary's always been a great partnership with us, and I'm looking forward to continuing that. I would like to take just a second and thank any veterans that are on today, and just thank you for your service as we head into Veterans Day tomorrow. So just a little bit about me. I'm a Paradise native. I went to high school with one of your Rotarians, Kylie Patterson. Remain very close friends today. Graduated from the Paradise High School, attended Butte for a couple years, and then jumped into the police academy out at Butte. Interesting note is Rotarian Tim Colby is on here today, and we were classmates in the 79th Police Academy graduation class. That was in October of 1992. From there, I got hired by Yuba County Sheriff's Office in Marysville, and I spent 5 years with them. We got to the point where our oldest son was getting ready to start school. My wife and I were both from this area, and we wanted to come back. And so that's how I ended up in Chico. Again, 23 years of just amazing things. Chico, the city of Chico, the police department has been very good to me. And a few years ago, I started to promote, asked to fill some positions. I actually didn't really intend to be chief. I was very satisfied being frontline supervision. But the organization needs folks to step up, and I was willing to do that. Upon the announcement of Chief O'Brien's retirement, I was assigned as the interim chief. He literally handed me the keys to the department on a Friday at 5 o'clock with 600 protesters in downtown Chico. So that was interesting of starting my next chapter in my career. But we got through it, and then ultimately went through a pretty significant testing process for the chief, and I was selected. So I'm honored to be here today to be the chief of police. I think there's some great things we can do here to build upon some great things of all the chiefs that have come before me. And really my theory on this is just go into this with the idea that you're going to leave it better than when you found it. Put your heart and soul into what we're doing here. Develop your staff so that way the day I walk out of here, somebody's sitting right here in this seat doing this job. So that's what's going on with me. Talk a little bit, probably the most important thing is my family. Let's see here if I can do this. This is my family. I've been married to my wife Jennifer for next week it'll be 27 years. She's
we
from
can't
Paradise.
see. I'm gonna just pause you for a second. We can't see what you're sharing.
All right, let me try this again. Well, I'm sorry, I can't seem to pull that up, but anyways, my family is my wife, Jennifer. She's a registered nurse at Enloe Hospital. Our oldest son, Sean, is up in Portland. He's in real estate, doing very well up there. Let's see here. I think I can pull this picture up if it'll come up.
Click share at the bottom of your screen and
Okay.
share your screen. Perfect. We can see your computer screen now.
Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay. So this is my family, wife, Jennifer. My oldest son, Sean, is all the way on the left in real estate up in Portland, doing very well. My middle son, Kyle, is at Cal Fire. He's currently a firefighter out at Vina Helitack, working off the brand new helicopter out there. And then our youngest, Morgan, is right here in Chico and waiting to attend, and is sitting on the waiting list for the nursing program out at Butte College, following her mother's footsteps. What's interesting is the other day, I was coming back from Reading from a meeting, and I saw the helicopter sitting out at Vina, so I called my son, Kyle. He says, yeah, I'm working, stop in. So I got to tour the new facility out there. It's absolutely amazing. I think you've all driven by it. And of course, this is the brand new Black Hawk that they're working off of. So just very lucky, have an amazing family that have supported me throughout my career. You don't get to this point without having that kind of support. So very, very proud dad and husband. As far as some of the things I'm working on that I felt like we needed to really get kind of up and running on here at the police department is really focus on community relationships, especially in light of all the things that are going on. So one of the things that I really wanted to get back up and going, we've had it here at Chico for a long time. I believe there's probably a number of Rotarians that have sat on the Police Community Advisory Board. But my goal with this group is to take it in a little bit different direction and really make it truly advisory. So we're looking at the policy. We really want to kind of get behind the scenes and really get into advising the chief on all the different things that are going on in our community and even the police department. So some of the members here, I'm sorry, this is like a trifold, so it's kind of put together differently, but you can see current members, board members on the advisory board. We've met a couple times since I've been the chief, and we really are gonna look at a lot of the things regarding relationships between the community and the police department. I want to be as transparent as I possibly can as a chief. So one of the things we are going to do is we're going to start creating agendas and minutes from these meetings and post them on our website for everybody to see, so they know what the issues are and what we're talking about. And then ultimately, I want to create an annual report that can go out to the community, which will show what we've talked about, what we've worked on as a group, what the police department is doing well, and recommendations for the police department to improve. So I'm really excited about taking this board in a little bit different direction, really be advisory, and use it to all of our advantage. So those are the current members on that. The other thing I wanted to do was, I do feel like the police department in general, and it's nobody's fault, but we lack relationships in what I would define as vulnerable communities. And I define that as just the inability that we have from police, as busy as we are, to really take the time and reach out and build relationships in our community where the difficult ones, and let's just be honest, there's a lot of relationships and partnerships that the police department have that generally come pretty easy. We have a lot of the same goals in mind. When we partner with the Chamber of Commerce or Rotary, Downtown Business Association, we generally are all trying to move in one direction. Chief O'Brien had most of our command staff assigned geographically. I think you might have heard him talk about a face to a place. And at that time, I think that was appropriate. But in our current status, what's going on, I think we needed to change that. And instead of being geographically located, I think we need to be located within our community and our community groups so that there's relationships there. So we're starting at the top and going to work our way down. As a leader in the organization, I believe that we need to lead from the front and set the example for our officers to follow. So we're starting with our lieutenants and captains. And we've gone through and identified what we believe are 7 kind of community groups that we lack strong relationships with. And we assign specific commanders to those. I'm just getting this program up and going. This will work kind of under PCAB. They will provide monthly reports back to PCAB on what they're up to and how their partnerships are going. But really, this is to develop and preserve community partnerships. We need to build trust. We need to increase awareness and acceptance of diversity in the Chico Police Department through inclusion, education, and collaboration. So again, sorry, this is a little confusing because it's a trifold, but let's grab Captain Greg Keeney right here. Captain Greg Keeney is assigned to our Jewish community. We have a synagogue right in our city on a national level. Our Jewish community always, a lot of times, especially around certain holidays, become concerned. And so I really want to build that community, a relationship so that community feels safe and create some awareness. Our LGBTQ community, Lieutenant Jeremy Struthers, will be working on that. Captain Aldridge with our African American community. And then our Latino community, our Muslim community, our Asian American community, and then finally our college community, Lieutenant Brian Miller. And with him, he's going to kind of end up having all of these associated because we know the diversity that we have on campus located right in the heart of our city. So he's really going to be a strong liaison that's going to help build some of those relationships, especially as our kids come back. We know that Chico State University is really trying to improve in their diversity as far as their students and cultural, multicultural studies and things. So we really want to take an opportunity to build some relationships there. So those are just a couple of things there that we're getting up off the ground. And as far as, let's see here, sorry. Where is, how do I bring the old screen back or get off share? There we go. All right. So that's some of the things that are going on. A couple more things. I just wanted everybody to know that we've gone through a whole new remodel of our dispatch center, which dispatches police, fire, and EMS. It's a state-of-the-art center now. It's very ergonomically correct. Our dispatchers are working in there for 10 or 12 hours a day. It can be very stressful in there. And so it's all latest equipment, new 911 system, the state of California's new 911 system. So since we've flipped the switch on that, we've had no problems with it whatsoever. And it's just really a great thing. You saw maybe some different titles. We've gone back and organizationally restructured the police department. There through the recession, we'd given up some command staff position to put more boots on the ground. Hence, I was the deputy chief under Chief O'Brien, sitting second in command, but essentially doing the job of what we had 2 captains that we had gotten rid of. So as we get busier and busier, as we continue to grow as an organization, we got rid of the deputy chief position, brought back the 2 captains. So I have a captain that runs the operations, and then I have a support captain that oversees a lot of the support staff. We're going to continue moving forward with the remodel of the police department. Just so you know, that is funded through the development impact fees that get assigned to us on those fee schedules for facilities and infrastructure. So we've been holding on to that for quite a number of years, knowing that we're going to be in this facility for quite some time, but it's pretty antiquated. So that's part of that dispatch center as well. We continue hiring and recruiting continues to be on the forefront with us. We continue to make sure that we're hiring the best. We had just completed the Mayor Schwab's ad hoc committee on policing. That report goes back to council, I think, next week. But essentially, it was actually a really good opportunity for us to not only educate the committee members, but also the public that were tuning in as to our training here at the police department, our hiring and background, and how high our standards are when it comes to hiring and recruiting, our training. We went through our use of force policy on several different levels. I've changed that policy several times in the last couple months, and I'll change it again in January when some new legislation is coming up January 1. And actually what was good about it is we talked a lot about de-escalation and crisis intervention, and we had a lot of our training cadre on there to talk about all the things we've been doing in that area. The one thing that did come up is the council had asked City Manager Orm to create a budget modification for the police department to get every member to a 40-hour crisis intervention training. So that actually occurred. So right now we're working with Butte College to try to come up with a post-approved 40-hour course right here in the North Valley instead of shipping our officers to the Bay Area or Southern California, which is very cost restrictive. So, and then one other program that you'll see coming out from us after the liaison program is up and running is we're going to start what's called the COPS program, and that will be a community-oriented policing projects that our officers, actually all of our staff, will be participating in, but they'll do it by teams and by units. Before, we used to have officers assign themselves to some kind of project, but we know as a team you can get so much more done working in a team environment. And so this is going to be a great opportunity for the officers and dispatchers and records, everybody here, to get out into the community and create some projects to really build some relationships with. So we're currently building that out. We're looking at all kinds of different things, partnering with the Boys and Girls Club. I just joined the governing board of the Boys and Girls Club of the North Valley. So, what's important to your chief tends to be important to the officers. And for me, I've seen, 25 years of the incredible things Boys and Girls Club do for our local youth, especially in the North Valley, with all the things that these kids have been through between campfire, bear fire, COVID. I think we really need to focus on investing in our future in this community, and that's our kids. So looking forward to some great things there. And then just a few fun things. It was awesome to be out and see a lot of you out at Treat Street. That was a lot of fun. It always is a great time. It was certainly a little different than we were used to, but it did seem like the families had a great time just getting out, and even for a few minutes. And then finally, we did the police department participated in the Special Olympics torch run this morning. And so, I don't know, about 7 or 8 of us ran the torch from Highway 99 at Esplanade all the way down to the City Plaza, where we handed it off to Butte County Probation, who carried it on through the South County. So that's always a good time. And then you can probably see this ridiculous thing I'm trying to grow on my face. It's supposed to be a mustache. We are participating here in Movember. We championed the cause in October for breast cancer awareness. We had pink patches and different things. We wanted to do something fun and carry on into Movember. Movember is a movement to really bring awareness to men's health, prostate cancer and things like that. So just to have a little fun, we do have very strict uniform and grooming regulations here. And so I did an interim directive allowing our staff to grow any kind of mustache that they wanted. So you'll see if you follow some of our social media platforms that that's really getting up and running. and there's some good ones out there right now. And I'm not going to probably win it, looking at where I'm at almost halfway through the month. But it really is just to raise awareness and have a little fun and during stressful times. And finally, like I said, just again, thank you for having me on here. Thank you for everything that you do in the community. I'm looking forward to our continued partnerships. And just a piece of advice, if you're talking with Katie Tillma and she tells you a story about me, it's not true. I'm just going to put it out there right now. So with that, I'll hand it back to you, Mark, or I'll take any questions if you have them.
All right. If there are any questions of the chief, unmute your mic and let's have a couple.
What about the homelessness?
Did you hear that one, Mike?
Yeah.
Alberta asked about that.
So right now we're working on a strategic plan regarding, what's going on. There's all kinds of case law and different things, and this tight wire in which we have to walk down. So there's some things that need to be put in place. One of the issues we're having right now is sheltering issues. I know we continue to see a few open beds at tourist shelter, but the COVID thing is really what the problem is because they have to have a negative test to even get into the facility. So trying to get out and do the outreach, talk to people, try to get them to get the test so we can get them over to the shelter. That's really what our target team's doing. The other thing that we need is the city attorney, although the agenda has been so full, but on the city attorney is going to be presenting to council to codify our park rules and regulations in the municipal code, which will make those types of crimes make them crimes. One of the problems that we have is under Boise v. Martin, we cannot enforce citywide type of homeless rules when there's lacking shelter. So, but we can, and what we want is to codify illegal camping in the parks because we can enforce that and it doesn't apply under Boise v. Martin. So we're hoping that goes to council soon because I think it needs a second reading and a 30-day. And then our staffing issues are really where our concerns are right now. We have quite a few frozen positions that were frozen because we didn't know what the budget was going to look like. The numbers look better than they thought. Council's coming back. There'll be another budget presentation in January. But I can tell you we're working on it. There is a plan that city manager presented to council that does include adding some park or public works staff that's going to be working with the target team. There's a truck involved so we can get these camps cleaned up and get people moved, but it has to be strategic. And the other thing that I'm supporting is the idea of an emergency campsite, preferably for me at the BMX track once they move down by the tourist shelter, because I think it would be a win-win that we can get people down there and out of our parks and out of our downtown and get them closer to services should they take those. So that's really what's going on there.
All right, great. Thank you very much, Chief. It's really great to see someone from the department move up through the ranks and take the top job, especially a local guy like you. Look forward to having you here for many years. So forget about that 50 thing, all right?
You got it, Mark. Thank you. Thank you all.
Okay, thank you.